All right, so we're going to jump into how to find slope from a graph. So first thing I want to talk about is the y-intercept, okay, where you start at. The y-intercept is always where the graph touches the y-axis, okay, where the graph touches the y-axis. So let's go through each one of these individually and talk about where they touch the y-axis. Remember, the y-axis is this one right here. It says y, and it's this line going up and down. So where does this graph touch the y-axis? -7 for this first one. Agreed. Yeah, see how it touches right there at -7? Are we okay with that? Again, this should be very simple right here, just kind of understanding where the graph touches the y-axis. We feel good? All right, let's go to the next one here. Let me get somebody different. Where does this graph touch the y-axis? At 2, yeah. Notice our y-axis, and it touches 2 right there. Excellent. So our y-intercept is, we're just going to put 2. Just going to put 2. All right, let's go to the next one. Let me get somebody different here. Notice this is the y-intercept right here. This is the y-intercept going straight up and down. And this is our graph. Where does it touch the y-axis? 6. Yeah, excellent. Excellent. Touches it right there, right, Nigel? Good, yeah. 6. A +6. Pretty easy so far? All right. Let's go to the next one. I had a hard time finding this graph, but when you look closely, you can kind of see it. So this is the y-intercept, right? It's going up and down. The graph is right beside it. So where does the graph touch the y-intercept? Where does it touch the y-axis? Or even does it touch the y-axis? Yeah, Zion, go ahead and say it. It doesn't. Yeah, it doesn't. It doesn't touch. It doesn't touch. Good. So that one would actually be called undefined, right? It'd be undefined. Okay? My bad. Was anybody still writing that? Doesn't touch. There we go. We good? All right. I've got 2 more, and I've got 2 more people. How about that? That's excellent. All right. Where does this touch the y-axis? Emily or Dubray? Where does that graph touch the y-axis? 4. 4. Great job right there. Great job right there, Dubray. Touches it right there at 4, correct? Good, good. Any questions on that? Feel good about it? And the last one here. Emily, tell me, where does, notice this is the y-axis, right? Where does the graph touch the y-axis? Oh, you mean like right there at 1? Yeah. All right, well that is our x-axis, right? That's the one that goes straight across like this. We want to know where the graph touches the y-axis that goes up and down. The 4, you saying right there? Yeah. So I agree. It kind of goes right through that 4, but it has to touch this line right here. Let me kind of make it bigger. So where does the line cross through this y-axis? And it would actually be, do you see it 4? Like, I agree, the line goes through, if you're kind of talking about this, it said -4, and it kind of went through the 4 like that. But we're looking for it to go through the line next to the 4. We need to go through the line, the y-axis, so that actually would be -3. Notice how it goes through -3 right there. Okay, so that's what we were looking for, so that -3 right there, -3. And what's tough is when the slope gets steeper like this. So like usually slope looks, can look like this or it can look like this. But the steeper it gets, it's kind of harder to see that y-intercept. So you got to really look closely at where it's touching the y-intercept. All right. Any questions on that? All right. Now let's jump into the harder part. This is essentially dealing with the slope. All right. Let's go all the way back to the very beginning, back to the first one. Let's see if we can get our camera to actually work here. And come on. Oh my goodness. Slight malfunctions. We'll be all right though. All right, here we go. Now, what I like to kind of do first off when I look at the slope, is this slope a positive or negative slope? It's a negative slope. How do you know it's a negative? Because it's going down, yeah. If you look at it from left to right, it's going down. So the slope here, let's go ahead and put a negative down because it's a negative slope. Now, what I like to do to find the slope is I go to my starting point. Okay, I go to my y-intercept. Now, where does it cross that little corner piece? The little corner pieces of the box. Remember, I kind of talked about it a little bit on the last page. I'll give you an example here. So those corner pieces are like if it crosses through like that corner. You see how it crosses through that corner? Or if it crossed through like that corner right there. Or if it crossed through that corner right there. Or that corner right there. Or that corner right there. That's the idea. We're looking for those corner pieces. Okay? If we can find those corner pieces, that really helps us out in finding the slope. So if we start at -7, right? Where would I find my first corner piece? Do y'all see it? Negative what? -4. -4. Oh, you see one up there? Yeah, that's one. We can put one on there. All right. Do we see any in between though? So if I start my starting point and I go -3 and right here? Oh, right here. Good. Yeah. That's a good one. Do you see another one? Right here? Yes. Good. Is there one more? At 5. Yeah. Good. I'm glad y'all are seeing these. Notice on your sheet, are they not touching those corner pieces? Do you see that? They're touching those corner pieces. Now we actually have all of our points that we need here. What did it do here? It went, if you look at it, we went up 2, right, from our starting point. We went up 2, and then we went left 1, right? Or if you start anywhere, we can go the other way. We went down 2, right 1. Down 2, right 1. Down 2, right 1. Down 2, right 1. So our slope, what are we going up or down by? Up or down by 2. And then which way are we moving, left and right? How many are we moving? 1. So really that'd be -2 over 1. Okay? And then our slope is always going to have our variable with it. It's always going to have our x with it. So when we write this equation, we put y equals, or f of x equals, we put our slope down. Remember y equals mx plus b? Have y'all ever heard of that? Up here. So y equals mx plus b. So the m part is our slope, and the b is like our intercept, our starting point. So our m here is our slope, so we put -2 over, well, -2 over 1. Can we just put -2? Yeah, we could just put -2. -2x, and then what's our y-intercept? Yeah, -7. And that's what it comes down to when it comes to making an equation. Notice our y-intercept stayed -7, and then our slope is based on what we saw on the graph. The slope was negative, so we put a negative up there. And then how many did it go up or down by every time? Well, it went up or down by 2 every time, right? And then it always moved 1 to the left or right. So that's why the slope would be y equals -2x minus 7. Any questions on that? All right, we got about 7 minutes left. 7 minutes left, okay? Let's take a look at the next one here. Let's take a look at the next one. All right, so we know our y-intercept is 2. So I'll be honest with y'all, when we're making our equation, our y equals, guess what we can put at the end? Our y-intercept, because that never changes. So we can go ahead and put that 2 at the end. It's going to be a plus 2 because it's a positive 2, right? Now, where does it cross those corner pieces? Where does it cross those corner pieces? What do y'all see? Negative 2, 1. Absolutely. Negative 2, 1. That's a good one. Where else? Negative 4. Yeah, negative 4, 0, right? Good work. Anywhere else? No? All right, and that's fine. As long as you have a couple of pieces, that works. There is another one. We'll find out in a second, because I want to show you something. Is this a positive or negative slope? It's a positive slope. Yeah, good. It's a positive slope because it's going up, right? It's going up. So that means our slope is definitely going to be positive. There's no negatives. How many did we, if we go to our starting point, how many did we go up or down to get to our next point? Yeah, we went down 1, right? So we have 1. And then how many did we move left or right? How many did we move here? So we went down 1 and we moved left 2, right? Good. So it's 1 over 2 would be our slope, right? Our rise over run. Rise over run. What always goes with the slope? Our not exponent, but just x, right? Our variable. Our variable. There you go. So now we write this down, 1 over 2x. So our slope is y equals 1 over 2x plus 2. Now let's see if that works here. So if we start on our starting point, or we can start anywhere, it doesn't really matter. If we start here, if we go up 1 and right 2, notice we got to our next point, didn't we? If I go up 1, right 2, I got to my next point. What if I do it again? Up 1, right 2, is that not a point right there? It sure is. That could have been a point too. Up 1, right 2, that would have been a point too. You know, down 1, left 2. I would go right there as well. So all of these really work. And notice we have our points for our line. All they do is connect the dots and they made their line. Questions with that? Concerns? No? You feel pretty good about it? Yeah? Decent? That's what I'm talking about. All right, this is an interesting one here. For C. Notice here, where does it hit those corner pieces? It doesn't. Yeah, it doesn't. It's a flat line. Is there a slope here? There's no slope. So guess what we put for slope? Yeah, we put none. Oh my goodness. I'm sorry. Sorry, fans. We put none. For slope, we put none. There is no slope. There is no slope. So what we do here is, our equation is y equals, if we don't have a slope, do we put anything? No, and then we bring down our y-intercept, which is 6. So y equals 6. That equation is y equals 6. What we did was we started at 0, we went to 6, we went y equals 6, right? And then we just draw our line straight across, and that means there's no slope. Because there's no x there, there's no variable, that means there is no slope. Are we cool with that? Good. Next one, because this one is another kind of challenging one to look at. Notice, did we have a y-intercept? No. What is our slope here? It's undefined. Great job right there. Undefined. We'll put that undefined. So our graph is right here. Would y'all agree that that's the line right there? All right. Where's that at? What's it going through? Is it going through the y-axis or the x-axis? The x-axis. Where at? At 1. So the equation for something like this, when it's undefined, is x equals, and then wherever it's going through. So right now it's going through the 1, right? So x equals 1. X equals 1 would be that equation. So when it's straight up and down, Just like this one, it's always x equals. When it's no slope, it's y equals just your y-intercept. But when you have a slope, we have to find the slope. And I think we got 1 minute and 50 seconds. Let's see if we can find the slope. Or do y'all want to try and find it? You're good? All right, well, at least try to talk me through it. How about that? All right, so we know our equation. Our equation is going to be y equals here. And then the y-intercept is 4, so we put a 4. It's a positive 4. All right, now somebody talk to me. Where does it cross some of those corner pieces? Positive 3, too. I agree. Anywhere else that kind of jumps out at you? 6, 0. Yeah, very good. Notice we can see the slope now, can't we? With those dots. Is that a positive or negative slope? It is a negative slope. Why is it a negative slope, Emily? Because it's going down. Excellent. So we put a negative there. So we know our slope is negative. Now, how many did we go up or down by? If we start our starting point, to get to that next dot, how many did I have to go down? 2. Yeah, there we go. I went down 2. All right, how many did I have to go over? 3. Yeah, there you go. So our slope is negative 2 over 3. Negative 2 over 3x. Does that make sense? From this dot to this dot, I went down 2 and I went right 3. Same thing goes to the next dot. I went down 2, right 3. Are we cool with that? All right, let's look at the last one, the very last one, and then we'll call it. We'll have a break here. All right, so this one is a little more tricky. Notice our equation is going to start out with y equals. Our y-intercept is already negative 3, so let's put minus 3 at the end. We'll put minus 3 at the end. Now our slope, where do we see it crossing a corner piece? Say again? Negative 1, negative 6. Yeah, negative 1, negative 6. So right there, yeah, it's touching a corner piece, isn't it? Good work. Anywhere else that kind of jumps off at the page? If not, that's okay. We can deal with that. Positive 1? Yeah, at positive 1, 0 right there, right? Good, good, good. Nigel, is this a positive or negative slope? Positive slope. So we know our slope's going to be positive. There's no need for a negative here. So how many do we have to go? If we're looking from dot to dot, right? Our starting point to the next dot. How many did I have to go up to get to that dot? I had to go up 3. Good. I went up 3. And how many did I have to go over? So check it out. I went up 3, right? From this dot, I went up 3. And then how many did I have to go over? I went over 1, right? I went over 1. So 3 over 1, x. Good. How would I write 3 over 1x a little more in simplified form? Just say again? Just 3, right? Just 3, because 3 over 1 is just 3. So we write it as 3x minus 3. So notice when you want to find the slope, what can you do? You just put that 3 over 1. So if you wanted to in the future, if you get an equation like this and you have to graph it, just look at that 3 and put it over 1, and that tells you how many you have to go over. All right, make sense? Any questions on that? Excellent, excellent, excellent.